welcome back to another episode of Guitar Talk with Todd here at Todd Beebe Music. Thank you all for checking in and joining me today. Please hit that subscribe button in the lower right hand corner. Help me out. Find me on Facebook at Todd Beebe Music. Today we have another awesome guitar review. This is a Gibson Les Paul Gothic model. Technically a Gothic studio Gothic, however you want to word it. In the early 2000s, Gibson put these out. They did the Flying V, the SG, the Explorer, and this is the Les Paul model. These were super stripped down. No mother of pearl logo on the headstock Gibson. That's just silk screened on there. No Les Paul logo at all. Clear truss rod cover. Bare bone stuff going on here. Ebony fingerboard with nothing going on except a moon and a star inlay. We're going to talk about that in a second. 490 and 498 rhythm and treble, humbucking pickups here, exposed coils with the covers off, and black chrome hardware here. This is the Gothic model, so everything's black pick guard, black top hat, volume and tone, control knobs there, just everything Gothic and black. I love these guitars. At the time when they came out, this is a 2000 model. These were considered even a little bit lower than the basic studio model, which was good because you could get these cheaper. I actually ended up getting this. This is one of mine, and I purchased this from a mom who bought this for her son to learn to play on because he wanted a Les Paul. Like I said, at that time, the studio was the best bang for the buck. Still is. If you watch this channel on a regular basis, you know I always tell everyone, if you want a real deal Les Paul made in Nashville, Tennessee, in the USA, the Gibson Les Paul Studio still gets my vote. Yes, it doesn't have all the bling and the binding and the cosmetic appeal, but it's a real deal Les Paul made right there in the Gibson USA plant. And like I said, still best bang for the buck. But in 2000, these came out, and this particular one is a 2000, and it was even a little bit cheaper price-wise than a regular run-of-the-mill studio. So this particular mom bought this for her son to learn how to play on. He just did not stick with it at all. Sat under the bed for a little while. Then the mom wanted to get rid of this, and I actually ended up buying this from somebody for $500, and I actually tried to offer them more and they wouldn't take it. This mom who was, it's kind of a long story, but they were moving. She had come into a lot of money, so finances weren't an issue to her, and she was moving on with her life to a bigger house and better things all around, because like I said, she had come into some money through personal reasons, and so she wasn't looking to make a ton off of this, and she said she didn't pay a lot to begin with because, like I said, this was cheaper than a normal studio at the time, and they got it on sale, and she just wanted to make a little bit of her money back, so she said, give me $500 and it's yours. I offered her more, and she basically pushed me out of the house. She wouldn't take it. So I'm very grateful to her for that. A lot of purists, and you know, if you only play stuff out of the custom shop and high-end guitars, you would I guess maybe look down on this guitar, but not me. If you're a fan of this channel, you know we love the high-end stuff and we love the lower end stuff. I almost hate to even use that term. To me, if it's put out by Gibson, it's got the Gibson logo on there, and it's made in the USA by Gibson at either the USA plant or the custom shop, you're golden. You're in the ballpark. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I'm not going to turn my nose up at something because it's not, you know, a 59 reissue or a AAA flame top. You know, at the end of the day, it's how it sounds, how it feels, I guess how it looks is in there somewhere. And if it's just a great playing sounding guitar, and this is a full-on Les Paul, make no mistake. Cleans up very well, like a lot of these. do with the 490 and 498 R&T, rhythm and treble. Neck and bridge humbucking pickups in there. These 490 and 498 were used big time, especially during that era with Gibson 90s and into the early 2000s. Yeah, so just awesome. So black. I mean, I'm looking at the camera right here. It's so black, it almost blends right in. You can't even see it. But that's what's cool about it. Like we said, ebony fingerboard on here with the moon and stars logo. Let's talk about that a little bit. If you look into Gibson's history, when Orvillle Gibson first started making mandolins, he actually started as a mandolin maker and then sort of worked his way into guitars as well. And on some of his earlier mandolins, in fact, if you go down to the Gibson garage in Nashville, Tennessee, they have some of Orville's mandolins on display down there, and you'll see that logo. Orvillle actually put that on his earlier stuff, the moon and the star. That was like his symbol. And he did that without, before he even just put the Gibson, it didn't even say Gibson, it just had the moon and the star, and that was it. And you kind of knew that was his trademark. Then, of course, he started just putting Gibson on stuff. And shortly after he started the company, you know, some other people took it over, and Orvillle wasn't even involved, you know, for very long once it got out of the gate and got going. But that's a whole other story. But Gibson, Orvillle Gibson, used that logo in his early years, and you can see that on some of his mandolins displayed at the Gibson garage down in Nashville to this day. And that just goes perfectly with the Gothic theme. I thought that was really cool that they looked into that enough to put that on there. Got the fret markers here on the side, so it's kind of cool just having that plain black fretboard like that with just the moon and the stars. Just a really cool looking guitar. Maple top, mahogany body, so it's still got your you know, everything you'd expect from a Les Paul. A little bit thinner of a body, but your back will thank you for that. It's a lot lighter. Like I said, heavy guitars don't really bother me, and they never have. We've had some tree trunks in here on this show, and I've played some for long gigs, and it just never bothers me. I'm lucky in that department, but this is perfect for someone that does have that problem, because you get the full-on Les Paul crunch, even turned up. It does everything you'd want it to. Yeah, so just great stuff here. Let's check this guitar out in the case. There's some really cool features on the back here. We actually have Orvillle Gibson's portrait here on the back of the headstock, which I'm going to show you guys in a minute here. Let's check it out right now in the case. The 2000 Gibson Les Paul Studio Gothic. Check it out. Okay, so here is the case. Definitely period correct. Here, these brown cases, we've had them on the show many times, and this is exactly what this came in. Later on, when Gibson did the Les Paul Voodoo, series. They did special cases. They were like reddish and black with the reddish and black Gibson USA logos. Are really cool cases. But surprisingly for the Gothic, they just went with the good old brown Gibson case here with the pink interior and the pink shroud. We've had these on many times on this show, so this is definitely period correct for something from the year 2000. All right, so there she is. Let's get right in here and take a look at this. Like I said, it's very black, hence the term Gothic. Three-way toggle switch here, rhythm and treble. There's those 490 and 498s, rhythm and treble, exposed humbucking pickups there. That's exactly what these came with. I've seen a lot of people swap these out for like EMGs and something else that's black, but these are the original pickups that this guitar would have come with in 2000. Black chrome hardware there, stop bar tailpiece, and our Nashville style 2-pneumatic bridge. Okay, so real quick, I want to talk about that mark right there next to that thumb wheel. I could tell you exactly what that was from, being that this was owned by a kid who was starting to play and probably didn't know any better. He wanted to adjust that thumb wheel to raise or lower the bridge. And he went in there with a pair of pliers and made a couple of nice nicks right there. But not just kids. I've seen people of all ages do that. Don't ever use pliers on the thumb wheel. They make tools for that. musicnomadcare.com. Check them out. And I know they have a spanner wrench and some other things that work for that. And you can move that really easily with those and won't mark up the finish. So no big deal. Again, that was reflected in the price, but that mark was on there from a pair of pliers coming in and, you know, someone just trying to adjust that thumb wheel and not really knowing any better before they marked it up. Black top hat knobs there, 2 volume, 2 tone controls, black pick guard, you almost can't even see. And like I said, this has the maple top on here, so that's exactly you know, what you would expect from a Les Paul, and this is the real deal. Little things on this one, like if you get right in the light here, you can see that little like silhouette there of something, and I can tell you exactly what it was. The mom who sold this guitar to me said her son had put a sticker on there, so you can kind of see the silhouette of where that still was. So it does have its little nicks and bumps here, a lot of excessive scratching you can see right there that happened on the top, but hey, that was reflected in the price, so I'm not complaining. Those are just marks of love, and we're okay with that. Ebony fingerboard, which is always usually darker and blacker than a standard rosewood, so it doesn't surprise me they use that on here at all. There is that moon and star logo that we were talking about earlier. That is exactly, like we were saying, what Orvillle Gibson used on his very first mandolins he ever built before he would even put the Gibson name on. He would just use the moon and the star. That was his logo, so it's kind of cool that they went ahead and put that on there, and that fits right in on these Gothic series. Headstock, very stripped down here. We've got truss rod cover, Grover tuners. We're going to flip over and get a look at closer here in a minute. Just a white outlined silkscreen Gibson logo, and that's what they did on these Gothics. Like I said, they were even considered a little bit below what you would have from a standard Gibson Les Paul Studio at that time that had like the Les Paul silkscreen logo, and still does to this day, but we don't even have that on here. Black nut to blend right in, nothing white to pop out, so that's really cool they did that. All right, let's flip this over and take a look at the back. Okay, so there is the back of the headstock. Awesome black Grover tuners. How cool is that? We have a portrait there of Orvillle Gibson, Gibson's founder, that they put on the back of the headstock. I always loved that. And I mean, Orvillle was the original Gothic man. I mean, look at that. He just completely fits right in on here. I just thought that was awesome. They did that and the Moon and Stars logo. That's just perfect that they put that on there. That's great. Black, black, black all around here on the neck. The mahogany back, exactly what you would have and expect on a Les Paul. The cavity for the 2-volume, 2-tone controls, and the cavity for the 3-way toggle switch. We've got black Schaller Straplocks on there, but again, we don't worry about that on this show because we are powered by Straptight on this show. Stop altering your guitars. Stop dropping your guitars. Throw on a Straptight and you are done. Check out our friends at straptight.com and you will never use another strap lock system again. All right, let's flip this over and get a look at the output jack on the side like we always do. Okay. So interesting here, you could see the body's a little bit thinner like you typically would have on a Les Paul Studio anyways. But even that output jack, the cover is not, you know, as opposed to taking up the whole width of the body right there, it does not. It's a little bit thinner, so that's interesting. They went with that too. Black, of course. And like I said, just little nicks and bumps here and there, but again, that was reflected in the price tag on this guitar. So very, very cool, this whole Gothic series. Okay, guys, so I thought you would find this very interesting. Before we get one more full case shot and move on here, this is a SamAsh.com catalog from December of 2001. We still have this thing floating around here. Lots of cool stuff in here, and look at what we have when we go to the Les Paul page in here. There we go. So Gibson USA page, and there is a couple of cool things. You've got the classic. Got a bunch of those on this show, so check out all my videos. And there's the Gibson Les Paul Studio Gothic. There it is, listed for $1,922, and they had it on sale for $1,249. Like I said, I would see that even cheaper at times when they would have a huge sale. So reading that there, you've got Gibson introduces a darker personality of the Les Paul with the latest addition to the Gibson Gothic series. This foreboding new Les Paul joins the Gothic line featuring the Flying V Explorer and the SG. The new Les Paul Gothic offers a satin black finish and black chrome hardware. A mystical moon and star inlay adorn the 12th fret to complement the sleek underground look. Exposed coil pickups ensure an equally wicked sound. The Gothic Les Paul has a sound so wicked it will steal your soul. So there you go. We also had like the Les Paul double cutaway. We've had one of those on this show before. I know we've got more coming in. $14.99 in 2001. Gibson Gothic Explorer. You can see that's got a lot of the same appointments on there. There's that moon and star in the center, and white outlined Gibson silkscreen logo on the headstock. So the Gothic series all stuck to that basic sort of a thing. Let's pan this other page real quick just while we're on this, some of the custom art historic stuff. 57 Les Paul Standard Historic was $26.49. 59 reissue was $49.89 in the year 2001. There's the Peter Frampton Les Paul that Gibson put out, a 57 custom historic model. The Angus Young signature SG for $18.99. Gary Moore model for $18.99. And another one here that was 57 Les Paul they only made 60 of. So that's a full page shot of that. Just really cool stuff to have, but that's just awesome that we still have that ad from being featured in the year 2001. Thought you all would enjoy that. Okay, so there's one more full case shot. Just looking awesome there, as gothic as can be. Dark, dark, dark all around. The 2000 Gibson Les Paul Studio Gothic. Like I said, I love this whole Gothic series. They were just great guitars. Okay, so let's take this for a test drive. Like we always do, we'll do some slide, some bluesier stuff, and then kind of let this thing rip and turn it up a little bit so you can hear it full on like we always do as well. Check it out. Here we go. Okay, so there it is, the Gibson Les Paul Studio Gothic from the year 2000. Like I said, I always love these models. They put out the SG, the Flying V, and the Explorer as well. They're all great. They all have that moon and star logo on there. Just great, great, great guitars. Great bang for the buck. And I'm very grateful to the lady who sold me this one for $500 many years back. It's definitely a keeper. I love this guitar. Like I said, a lot of people look down on the studio and all that. I've never understood that. Studios are great, great guitars, and they're right there. I put them right in line with anything that's got the Gibson name on them. They all, many of them play fantastic. And I love Les Paul Studios. Best bang for the buck going even to this day. But the Gothic series is no longer made. I wish it was. I thought these were very cool. Thanks for checking in, everyone. Please comment below. Have you played one of these? Do you want one? Have you seen them? What do you think of these? I think they're great guitars myself. Chime in and comment below what you think. Please hit that subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner and help me out. Find me on Facebook at Todd Beebe Music. And we will see you all again. Thank you so much. Stay safe and love your dogs. Take care.